Hello, I'm Joshua Freedman, Senior Analyst at Rapaport, and welcome to the latest episode of Rapaport's new LinkedIn live series, GEMTalks, in which we speak with experts within the diamond industry about important topics affecting the sector. This episode of the Rapaport LinkedIn Live is brought to you by GIA, the Gemological Institute of America, protecting consumers and supporting the global gem and jewelry trade since 1931 through research, education, and laboratory services. The growing price gap between natural and synthetic diamonds has made it enticing for fraudsters to trick buyers with fakes. We at Rapaport have reported many cases of forged girdle inscriptions aimed at making a stone appear to be something it's not. You can read those at rapaport.com and on our social media pages. In July, for example, a dealer in New York was indicted for swapping natural diamonds for synthetics. Central to the alleged plot was the forgery of a GIA inscription that made the lab-grown stones resemble natural goods with genuine GIA grading reports. The key question is how to verify a GIA-graded diamond, and I'm honored to welcome Dr. Wuyi Wang, the GIA's Vice President of Research and Development, to discuss this. Dr. Wang has been at the GIA since 2000 and manages a range of R&D activities. His main research focuses on diamonds, from geology to synthetics to the development of various instruments. So he's excellently placed to answer our questions on the topic of counterfeits and verification. Please post your questions throughout the session in the comments on this event. First, however, Dr. Wang is going to speak for a short while about this topic and some of the GIA's activities. So welcome, Dr. Wang, and thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much, Joshua, for introductions. Thank you all for attending this webinar. I'm really grateful for Rapaport team to give me from GIA this opportunity to show you how to use a small portable device that GIA is distributing to verify a GIA-graded diamond. GIA grades millions of diamonds every year, and it is a common sense in the trade for diamond comes with a report that a diamond and a report matches as what it's supposed to be. Is a true diamond, is a true report. But it is not a very unusual. We'll see that's not always the case. As what Joshua just mentioned, the diamond could be switched and could be a lab-grown synthetic diamond is a fake one. It comes with a real GI report, and sometimes could happen is a fake diamond with a fake report. The reason behind it is very simple, because in the trade we have natural diamond, we have treated natural diamond as to improve the color appearance, and there are a lot of lab-grown diamonds. As you know, lab-grown diamonds have developed dramatically in last 10 years or so with the technology, the CVD or HPHD technology can create very high quality, gem quality diamonds. So the reason behind this is very obvious, because they have very different market values. To secure diamond identity, GIA use a laser inscribe. Most diamonds come to GIA lab for service. I can give you a number. It's more than, or close outside. About 90% of diamonds come to GIA lab for grading or be laser inscribed. For laser inscription, basically, it is just, let me show you a small video. To use a machine like in the left part of this screen, a pretty big machine, use a very high energy laser. The laser is very well focused to a few microns. The laser move around the diamond surface. As we know, the diamond is composed of carbon. The laser will convert a very small portion of a diamond particle diamond to amorphous diamond. Amorphous carbon turned to black, so we can see it. As see from this image, the GI inscription will be including GI logo and plus 10 digits is the report number. This number matches what in GIA report, the same report number is inscribed here. GIA uses a special font. It is very difficult for anybody to duplicate this laser inscription. It is not impossible, but it's very difficult. But one thing special for laser inscription is, as we know, the girdle feature, inscription put on the girdle feature of a diamond is a random. So it's a girdle small facet is a random. Even somebody can duplicate GIA laser inscription in font and size, but it is not possible to duplicate the relationship between the inscription and the girdle features, like the small facet junctions of the girdle and the girdle outline. That's not possible for anybody to duplicate it because that features are random. I want to show you a few more about details of this inscription. So that's 4 pictures here. The top left is just kind of the regular laser inscription, and again, GIA logo plus the 10 digits report number. I want to emphasize here, GIA is producing the best quality of laser inscription on diamond surface. You probably can see that. And this is the very common situation is inscribed on a faceted girdle. Sometimes the girdle could be bruted like this. Since it's a long diamond carbon on the diamond surface after laser inscription, it is not very stable. So during the cleaning or using, some carbon could kind of get peeled off, and so the inscription could be partially washed out. And sometimes the inscription could be entirely washed out like this. You still see the marks, but all the dark material entirely disappeared. So just a brief kind of a recap of what I said is it is very difficult for anybody to duplicate a GIA laser inscription in font and size, despite it's impossible. Despite somebody in real case, they probably can, but it is impossible to duplicate the relationship of the inscription with the girdle features. So inscription is a fingerprint of a diamond that can be used to verify the identity of a GIA-graded diamond. Now we know there are some fake diamond in the market and with a fake GIA inscription. This slide I want to show you, the left side is the news last year published in India Press. It is a CVD diamond with a GIA logo and 10 digits report number inscribed. This number is a natural diamond report number and on a CVD lab-grown diamond. On the right-hand side, it is the reference image of the real diamond, natural diamond, GIA graded, and with the inscription on it. As you can see, they are different. If I show you the A, that's GIA with a special font of the A, GIA is right-hand side is the authentic A, left is a fake one. You can tell this is different. They tried hard to mimic GIA font, but they didn't do a perfect job. Sometimes the fake inscription could also be put on a natural diamond, but a treated natural diamond. Here's the example stone sent to GIA for recheck. So there must be some reasons the client want to find something suspicious of this diamond, so submit to GIA for recheck. And we find out this is a HPHT treated natural diamond with a natural report number on it. The top is a reference image, the bottom is the fake diamond. You can see, yeah, I tried, but you see the A font is still very different. I didn't do a good job for the A. And it's a fake inscription not only happens to colorless or near colorless diamond, sometimes also occur for fancy color diamond. This is a yellow diamond. It's natural color. It's a natural diamond, but a color is treated. The inscription on this stone is a naturally colored yellow diamond, a true yellow natural diamond. And what is impressed me very much is they put the inscription, the fake inscription on this diamond. I would say it's almost all identical to the real inscription. This is the best quality of fake inscription I have ever seen among this group of a diamond. And here's another example of a natural diamond, treated blue color. The stone is artificially irradiated, and they put a fake inscription with good quality of almost identical size, identical color of a natural colored diamond. So what we see here in GIA Lab system come to us for a recheck is probably just a tip of the iceberg. In the trade, there could be much, much more fake diamonds in the trade. Joshua mentioned that there's a news and basically reported by Jessica and Rapaport, and the two very highly valued natural diamond, were kind of swapped with lab-grown diamonds and highly valued stones. So there's really a need for our trade to verify a diamond identity is a real GIA-graded diamond or a fake one. To submit the stones to GIA for a recheck, of course, that helps, but it probably cannot resolve all the issues the trader might have. They sometimes need this verification to happen very quickly in their office or in their shop. To submit a stone to GIA laboratory for verification might not resolve all of their concerns. Here I try to show you how to use this portable small device GIA developed to resolve this issue. Let me explain how it works. What I show here in the left side of the slide, it is a GIA-graded diamond with GIA inscription, and this image will be captured immediately after the inscription, saved as a reference. Then we put identical inscription on another 3 lab-grown diamonds of same size, same cut. So now we have 4 diamonds with the identical inscription on it. Obviously, nobody can make fake inscription as good as we are in GIA, put on the fake diamonds. So these 4 images are taken by the small portable device I'm going to show you later. Only 1 stone is real, other 3 are fake. If we visually look at these 4 images, comparing with the reference image, actually we will be able to tell which one is real, which 3 are fake. Let me tell you how to look at these images. If you look at the reference image, you see the 3 here as a facet junction. If you look at here, A, B, C, D, 4 images, only B here as a facet junction. For all other 3, there's no facet junction. So by a very simple visual check, would you be able to tell only sample B is real, other 3 are fake inscriptions. So we know the inscription is going to work as a fingerprint, but we want to push this a step further. We want to automate the verification process. So here's how it works. All the diamonds come to GIA Lab. Here's the picture. In the middle is GIA New York Lab. It's a beautiful building. And come to GIA Laboratory, and we grade it, we test them, and all the stones inscribed, the image will be captured immediately, automatically, and saved to the cloud as a reference. And we'll make this reference image available for verification purposes. Now, if you download GIA apps, you just go to App Store, you will download the GIA apps. This is GIA apps. It's free to download. And then when you open it, you see this page. This is a very useful app. You would be able to do, to check your report and a lot of other informations. And the one thing here I want to show you is, so here it's called matching. So it is a function can link your cell phone to GIA Match ID. Here's what a GIA Match ID look like. It's about a size, I would say that desktop telephone size, maybe even slightly smaller than a telephone. It is basically a microscope, image with image, and to look at, to basically to show the inscription in this device. It has a stage, put a stone at the middle of the stage. The stage can rotate to help find where the inscriptions are. And I can also rotate the stage to adjust its height over here. And this device can be paired with your cell phone. Once you press this button, it is a Wi-Fi basically. We press it to turn on, and the image from this device will show up in your cell phone. And once you probably you press this button in your cell phone, GI apps will load this image to cloud and compare with the reference image to tell you this is a real GI inscription or is a fake inscription. If it's real, it says match and then takes you to see the GI report. If not, it will say no match was found. So it's that simple. I want to explain a little bit how it works, whether everything happens in the cloud, how it works. And I want to use this slide to show you this encryption, right? It's a logo and 10 report numbers. We use AI technology to train the system to be able to locate each letter and the number and recognize each number. As you drive the car, if you cross a traffic light, you get a ticket. That's same story, and we'll be able to read these numbers and find a GI report number. And then we also actually in our system will detect the age of the girdle and also detect the facet junctions at the girdle, and to set up the relationships between GI inscription and all of the girdle features. And we trained our system, make it work, not only work for good quality image and also work for image that kind of was reasonably poor quality, like I show here. All of the numbers and letters are correctly read. Even some of them are not in a very good quality, to make it easier for the users and make it more accurate and also kind of better user experience. So with that, I want to just give you a very brief summary of what I talked here about the match ID we developed in GIA. We successfully developed this device, a small device, using this inscription as a fingerprint to do diamond verification. It is a portable device, and it is affordable. It's a few $100s, and the apps is free. It's just a few $100s, and then everything else after that is free. It's durable. It's a very durable device. Once the image is ready, it takes only 20 or 30 seconds, sometimes just a few seconds, to give you the matching result. In terms of accuracy, is obviously very important specifications of this device. If the inscription is a real GI inscription, it gives more than 98% matching result. So that's better than 98%. For fake inscriptions, we put a lot of fake inscriptions on Diamond to test the accuracy of this development. We get it's not a 0, it is less than 1%. Get a matching result, but that is based on GI inscription, the best fake inscription ever. Anyone can do it. In reality, it is very difficult to duplicate GI inscription. So in reality, for a fake diamond to get a matching result from the device will be far, far below than 1% if it's not 0. I want to update a little bit more of this device features. It works for loose diamond and any shape, and it also works for mounted diamond. It takes a little bit more time to work on mounted diamond because it is harder to find where the inscriptions are for mounted diamond, but it is possible. And it works for faceted girdle, and it also works for bruted girdles. The inscription could be partially or entirely washed out. One thing I want to mention here, this device can, at this moment now, can only be paired to Apple cell phone. It doesn't work for Android system. So that's the only limit. If you are interested in this device or want to know more details, just go to GIA.edu. You will be able to find these details. Before I finish, I want to quickly show you a small video GI produced for this device. Let me show you the video.
Dr. Wang, we're not seeing it. Thank you very much, Dr. Wang. And just a reminder to everyone that you can post your questions in the comments of this event, and we will answer as many of them as possible. But first, though, I had a few of my own questions, and there's actually something that came to me while I was listening to. We're talking about teaching the system how to detect the fakes and teaching it to know and to understand the GIA font. How long did that process of machine learning, I guess, how long did that take?
You mean to take us to develop this system?
Yeah.
Well, it's a kind of a big effort. It took us more than a year to develop this system to the accuracy we have right now. It's I'll be very frank, it is much more difficult than I expected from beginning.
Right. And just kind of zooming out to the issue more generally, has the GIA seen an increase in counterfeiting of this type in recent years? Has it become more common?
It's hard to say. Here, there, we see there's a fake inscription stones sent to the GIA for recheck services in many in Asian labs and sometimes in American labs. The total number is still limited, but we know that is just a very small tip of the iceberg. We know there are a lot of fake reports in the world, particularly in Asia, that we know.
Do you have any rough number on how many cases like this there are per year?
It would be hard for me to give you an accurate number. I would say dozens.
Right. And I mean, I don't know if this is your field to answer, but I'm wondering whether the fact that prices of lab-grown diamonds have declined has made this more attractive. The potential gain for fraudsters has presumably has increased.
I would agree with you. I would assume now with the development, the rapid development of lab-grown diamonds, high quality, high gem quality diamonds are produced, but with very low cost, make this kind of counterfeit possible, easy to happen.
Right. And that's that girdle inscription. You showed us the font there. Now that is how distinctive is that compared with, say, other labs? I mean, would you be able to look at that and immediately tell that that's a GIA font? And also, has that changed over the years? Has the GIA always had that same font on the inscriptions?
Not always. GIA periodically change the font and the style, size of inscription on diamond girdle, and it's the last changed a few years ago. I think GIA is trying very hard to make very high quality inscription on the diamond. I hope the trade would have recognized that. We make it very clear, very sharp. Actually, doing the inscription, our stage, the girdle is for round stones is curved, so they have a different height, and so we will even try to automatically adjust the height of the stone during the inscription to make sure everywhere is focused.
Right. And so if are there any challenges involved in using the device to identify old stones that maybe had where the appearance of the inscription is different from one that was inscribed in the last year or something?
Yeah, unfortunately, that's not going to work. The device for now, it only works for the current style of inscription, the old font, the old report numbers. That is not going to work for the current system.
How long has the current appearance been in effect for?
I don't remember exactly. I think the current inscription, the style at least has been going on for 5-6 years, if not 10 years.
Right.
Our reference for inscription image track back to at least 2 years ago.
Right. But so in practice, if a diamond was graded 15 years ago, and then today someone tried to forge the inscription for that reference diamond, it potentially might not be possible to pick that up with the machine.
You're correct.
Right. Interesting. I also wanted to ask about the you know, how this particular device compares with what else is available. I'm not aware of much on the market that's similar to this. Do you have competition in this area?
I don't think so. I think this is the only diamond verification system developed in GIA for GIA-graded diamond. For other gem labs, as far as my knowledge, I'm not aware other gem labs are distributing similar device for verification purposes. So I assume it could be the only device in the world for diamond verification purpose now.
Right. And is it how easy is it to use? I mean, you showed us on it in your presentation and in the video. It seems pretty simple, right?
It is really simple. It's take I think a few minutes instruction, and they may take some more stones to practice to make it a kind of familiar with the system. It is everybody can use this device. Very simple.
Right. Do you believe that all that the best solution is, or the best plan is people should send any diamond they're unsure about for screening, as or would you sending it all directly to the GIA for screening, or do you think that it's sufficient for customers to use this machine in their own premises?
We welcome anybody if have a stones feel suspicious to GIA for recheck. We welcome that, but I'm afraid that's not going to resolve all of their concerns or questions. Sometimes they need immediate answer. Sometimes they are not here very close to our labs. Even with, despite we have 11 labs around the world. I think this portable device, if a diamond is inscribed, again, I would say it's about 90% of diamond graded in GIA now are inscribed. If it is inscribed, this device will give a very reliable result.
Right. A few questions have come in and I'm going to address already. Someone asked, does the equipment work for mounted stones? And you did address that in the presentation. I think you said that it does work, but it's a little harder than for loose stones. Did I remember that correctly?
Yes. First, the mounted stone, the inscription cannot be covered by the metal as long as the inscription is still visible. For a ring, it's quite easy, I would say. But for other pendant or other jewelry, it might be a little bit more difficult. Because it's difficult is not because of the system, the matching accuracy. Is to make the device to see the inscription clearly. That's an illuminated property. That's the challenge.
Right.
But it's possible. Need some practice, and the mounted stones. I'll suggest sometimes, for special shapes, to use a blue tack to hold the stone. That will make it possible to, as long as you can capture a reasonably good image of the inscription in the mounted stone. Yeah, we'll be able to confirm the match or not a match.
But is the GIA working on a way of making that easier to do with the machines?
Yes.
How long do you think that would take?
Harder to predict. We are developing. This is a version of the version 1, and we are actually developing version 2, make it even better or user friendly or even more accurate. So that's what we are trying to.
Do you know when that will be available yet?
I cannot. I don't know.
Okay.
It may take a while.
No problem. Okay. Another interesting question that came in. Well, someone asked, will this presentation be available by recording? I can answer that myself. Yes, it will be available on the Rapaport YouTube channel and on rapaport.com. Another question here that came in. Will the GIA consider putting an image of the inscription onto their reports?
I don't think so. I don't know for sure, and it really depends on the market, the trade, and the needs, and also GIA's management decision. At this moment, we don't share our inscription image.
Right. My first thought there was that would actually make it easier for the people to commit fraud if they have an
Exactly.
Right.
Make it easier for them to make a fake inscription.
Right. And reading this question out and see if I understand it as I go along. Is there a report that exists that shows the various stages of the GIA inscription font and font details to verify inscriptions against? That sounds like it's a kind of a style guide of GIA fonts, if I understood the question correctly.
We don't have that document available immediately, but it is possible to put this document together. Actually, we worked on that during the development of this development project. We reviewed the historical inscription of GIA. It's possible to put a document together. It's just not ready for distribution.
Right.
I even don't know if GIA will distribute that.
Right. Someone also asked, well, it's good to see someone had the same question as me. How can I verify if an inscription of 15 years ago on a diamond is fake or real? Is given what we said before that it only works for the current font. Is there a solution for an old diamond?
Well, the diamond inscription probably doesn't have 50 years history. It probably started early 90s, I assume, the inscription. So maybe have a 30 years history of this in the industry. Yeah, we don't have immediate plan to make it work for old inscriptions.
So let's say you, sorry, carry on, Dr. Wang.
So what I mean, at this moment, we don't have a plan to make this verification system for very old inscriptions.
But if you were to take a diamond from 15, 20 years ago and look closely at the girdle inscription, would you just with your eyes be able to tell if it was real or not?
I can't, but some experts in GI would be able to.
Okay,
I'm not.
fine. But it can, is that something that could be that people could send in for checking? Is that a service that you'd offer?
I don't know if that's a service, but if there's real need, I'm sure they can contact with GI customer service people, and there's no reason why we don't help. We should be able to help. Just
Right.
contact with GIA customer service.
Okay. I also wanted to ask, this is a question for me, whether fraudsters are getting better at fraud. So are there improvements in the technology that the people are using to create these fakes? Not in terms of the diamonds, but the inscriptions.
Yeah, that's true. In the early days, the fake inscription was of a very poor quality. It's getting better and better, and finally it reached to the level like the yellow diamond I showed. Will not be able to tell just visually from the fake from the real inscription, GI inscription. They match the font size and even the style, the quality, the laser beam control pretty well to what we are using.
Right.
So somebody paid attention to create a good match of a fake inscription.
Right. Are they also, have you observed whether they've managed to match the relation between the inscription and the facets better than in the past?
Harder to say. But that's something impossible to achieve, as what I explained.
Right.
The kind of feature is random. Is not possible. They probably can match one feature, but that definitely will fail other features. So by now, I haven't seen a single fake inscription that matched everything with the real one yet.
Right. Okay. So we've mentioned passing off lab-grown diamonds as natural, and you also mentioned passing off treated diamonds as untreated. Have you ever seen cases where just lower quality natural diamonds have been passed off as higher quality natural diamonds using forgery like this?
Yes.
I imagine it's a harder trick to do because it's more easily discernible.
Yes, there are examples like that.
Right. But how common is something like that?
I didn't see a lot of examples like that.
Right.
But think about it, Joshua. The diamond information is almost public, right? GI-graded diamond, like the 4Cs, is almost public information. They can easily search to find a potential match with whatever the fake stones they have.
Right. Okay. Do you, that's a good question that came in here. Does the GIA have a photo record of older fonts used? So it's so basically an archive of past fonts. Or is that
Yes.
something that you wouldn't publish?
I don't know if we will publish that. I don't know. We definitely have that information, as what I explained previously. It is not a fully document. At least I don't know there is a document to show all the history of fonts. But I'm not sure GI is going to publish that.
Right. Okay. Fine, very well. I was wondering if you could share with us maybe the craziest example of a forgery that you've ever come across?
I would say that a yellow diamond I showed in my talk, and I was surprised with a few things. They touched the fancy color diamond that against my expectation. That's just a very small portion of a diamond. It is natural, but it treated the color, and they made the fake inscription, I would say, almost identical to the real one. I kind of quite impressed with what they did.
Right. I guess the potential gain for them is greater with a fancy color diamond.
Yeah, the gain's probably higher if they touch no, that's submitted for recheck, and with that type of service, they can try to trick us.
Fine. I also want to ask about how the GIA has used this knowledge and technology to solve crimes. I mean, how often is the you know investigation agencies call on the GIA to try and solve cases like this?
I know GIA legal team works constantly with law enforcement team to support their operations. I know it happens constantly, often, I would say. But regarding the fake inscription, how much like we in GIA directly involved with law enforcement, I don't know yet. It might happen. I just don't know.
Right. Just a reminder to people that you are free and welcome to post any more questions before we finish in this in the comments, and we'll do our best to answer them now or afterwards if necessary. In the meantime, just Dr. Wang, I wanted to ask you about two machines that we see behind you. One of them I know is to your left is the match device, and to your right is just a regular microscope, correct?
That's just right. And this you see on my bookshelf. It's also yellow books on American Mineralogist. That's my favorite journal. And here's the small device here. That's Match ID. And this is a new GIA microscope, and stay always behind my back. And what here is my GIA New Jersey office. My office in New Jersey.
Okay, great. Good to see them on display. So a final question that came in here. When a fake diamond is submitted for verification, actually this is more of a comment. This is a request actually. Someone requesting that when a fake diamond is submitted for verification, the ID of the person submitting it should be recorded to track repeat fraud attempts and organized crime. Additionally, certain diamonds could be blacklisted. How to what extent does that happen already?
Good question. I don't know.
Okay.
I hope this person can pass this suggestion to our GI management. We work in the lab. We make the conclusion of the stone, and the next step we don't know much.
Right. Okay. Fine. So I think that covers all the questions that we got in. So I just wanted to conclude by saying a big thank you. Just a reminder that this episode of the Rapaport LinkedIn Live was brought to you by the GIA, the Gemological Institute of America, protecting consumers, and supporting the global gem and jewelry trade since 1931 through research, education, and laboratory services. We've covered a lot of important aspects of this topic, from why and how fraud is happening through to how it's possible to spot these forgeries. So I'm very grateful, Dr. Wang, for your insights. And the recording of this session, as we mentioned before, will be available on Rapaport's YouTube channel and on rapaport.com. So a big thank you to Dr. Wang for joining us and enlightening us with your knowledge. And also thank you to all of you for listening and for asking your questions. I'm going to end the session now. Thank you to everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.